I kind of struggled with purpose for a little bit. It was before we left, I was teaching. I had my kids to kind of pour into. Didn't have a relationship or anything like that. And then when I got back, a lot of that stuff that I thought was going to be in place kind of crumbled apart. And I really didn't have anything to pour myself into. And I was working, did what I had to do to get by, but it didn't seem like there was a lot of purpose in what I was doing. I was just working to pay bills and kind of stuck in the mud a little bit for a few years.
It's funny that you say that, because I think that every single podcast we've done, and just from the initial, even before we started, we talked about purpose and kind of like purpose and perception, our purpose and having lost that purpose coming off either deployment, active duty, or whatever. And then your perception of the situation and where you're at and how exactly, that shakes out. And I think all of us dealt with it pretty similar.
I don't know if you heard me, but as soon as you said that purpose, I said, because literally we have talked about this every time. And that's one of the, I think, major contributors to the soldier suicide rate is guys lose purpose. And they, I think that's huge for men in general, to
absolutely
to have, and women too. I'm not going to just say men, but women as well.
So what purpose did you find, and how did you find that purpose, and how about that?
Yeah. So, ultimately I decided, I talked to somebody, I'll be honest with you, I don't remember who it was, but somebody told me that when you're struggling finding purpose in your own life, pour into other people. And while I was still kind of treading water and trying to figure out my own path, I just decided that I was going to get back to the things that were consistent in my life. I started going back to church again regular. I started going and working out regular. I started helping other people. There were people, neighbors and coworkers and people in our unit that I encouraged to, hey, go work out with me. You'll feel better. And ultimately I felt better myself because I was doing it.
All right. Very nice. And you're married now. When did you meet your wife?
Yeah, she was actually my boss at Publix.
Little nepotism going on there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And her first day at the new store was my last day before we went to Germany. And so we went to Germany for, I think it was like a month and a half. And I was telling all my buddies, I'm like, man, I'm gonna date that girl when I get back. And ultimately, I kind of, I was sneaky about it. I made sure our breaks aligned at the same time, so we got to hang out in the break room. There was trading of Snapchat and numbers and all that. And ultimately, I convinced her, hey, give me a shot. And about a year and a half later, we were married. Now we got 2 kids with a third on the way. So
nice
success.
So you said you struggled with purpose. Was there a point where you felt like you were, after deployment or even after getting out, where you could say, in your memory, I was really low at that point, or I was really, that was a dark place for me, or you struggled with purpose and you got back right into it? What was that like for you?
Yeah, I always hit it well. I always hit it well. I've always had a lot of friends, acquaintances, and lucky to have some really good friends. But I've always hit it well, man. I always have a good time and that sort of thing. And but when you're alone, you have those friends with you. You don't have that support system. Right. Yeah, that's when you get to thinking. And I found myself, I didn't like silence.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I started sleeping with a sound machine.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't handle silence. Because if I couldn't sleep at night, my brain got to working.
Yeah.
And
I'm that same way. TV on every night still.
Absolutely. And it just got to the point to where, like, man, I can't mask this with a sound machine. I need to face it head on and get over it, conquer it.
So what was that? What was facing that head on? What did that look like for you?
It was going back to church. It was working out again.
Yeah.
It was doing things not solely for myself.
Yeah.
But doing things for other people and checking in on friends and seeing how friends are doing, things like that.
Bye.